free. God in everything. Everywhere I look, I see God in everything. Deep inside and all around me, God in everything. God in everything. God in everything.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you. I see God in you. Thank you for you being here, you musicians who are so splendid, and we're so lucky to have you. My name is Dana. It's my honor and privilege to be here with you. All right, so we are going to start with our opening affirmation together. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good. This is the foundational statement of unity. This is what we live by. This is how we create our experiences. All right, so I'm planning on reading the daily word unless somebody wants to fight me for it. It really spoke to me today. I encourage you as I'm reading this, when I have the word me, that you know I'm talking about you. So hear it to yourself as though you're talking to yourself. So the affirmation is, I live proudly as my authentic self. One of the best ways to feel the fullness of my divinity is to express the uniqueness of my humanity. There is no one on earth who is exactly like me, no one who has my history and my experiences, no one who has my particular talents and gifts. I make the world a richer place when I show up as the person I am. If I am too timid to share my gifts, if I carry shame or regret about my past, or if I feel afraid to let others see the real me, I am not being my authentic self. Authenticity means being who I am with confidence. I am a divine being, a child of God. I take my place in the world with joy, knowing I belong here just as much as everyone else. Rooted in my divinity, I celebrate my humanity by being my authentic self. And this is based on Romans 8:14, which reads, "For all who are led by the Spirit of God are children of God." Isn't that lovely? All right, so if we have anyone here for the first time, we welcome you. And I would invite you to sign up for our newsletter and put your contact information at the table out front there, if you would, please. For those who are here joining us on live stream, we welcome you as well. We know that we are all here in spirit. All right, so we are going to stand and greet our neighbor with a handshake or a hug or a fist bump or a high five or a Spock signal or a salute, whatever feels comfortable for you. So as we come back to our chairs, remain standing, because we will be singing. Good to see you again. Tell me your name again. Paul. Nice to meet you. to have you. My name's Dana.
Hi, my name is Dan.
Dan. Okay, I can remember that one.
Thank you. Are we ready? Thank you. Okay. It's this morning. This morning, yeah. This holy light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This holy light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This holy light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. The light that shines is the light of love, lights the darkness from above. It shines on me and it shines on you, shows what the power of love can do. Gonna shine my light both far and near, shine my light both bright and clear. Any dark corner that I find, I'm gonna let my holy light shine. This holy light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This holy light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This holy light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This holy light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This holy light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This holy light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Yeah, we need tambourines.
Okay, so we are going to be moving into our meditation, but I wanted to introduce the talk title that Jeff has selected for today. So it is Our Greatest Epidemic, and It's Not What You Think. Thanks. Come on up, Jeff.
Thank you, Dana. One of my prayers in the morning has been for years, has been practice of visualizing and seeing myself, or actually seeing others coming to the center. Or when I started this years ago, it was at the church, and I would visualize and see families coming, people coming, and in the rush and haste of their morning, it's getting the kids ready, it's running the nylons, it's, all of those things, right? That, well, I mean, I live with a woman, so, you have those situations.
People still wear nylon?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I do, I don't know. But anyways, the vision that I had in my prayer time was of people coming. They weren't coming to church, or they were coming to church, but they were coming with all this other stuff. And if we can imagine the cartoons of Linus in the Peanuts character, right? Whenever Linus walks around, he's got this cloud of stuff that follows him, right? And so I felt like people coming here, coming wherever we're, like in this case here, they're coming with a cloud of stuff. And so the opportunity that we have during the meditation is to let go of the stuff, stop and pause and let the dust settle. And let's just go through this. So this is going to be the purpose of the meditation today. And I would ask that you be mindful of this and maybe do some form of that in the mornings when you're on your way here. Okay? So let's all collectively, let's get ourselves seated. Obviously, everybody's sitting down, but let's place our feet on the floor. Our hands, just let them lay on your lap or on your legs. And we're going to do 3 deep breaths together. The first one, and release. Another deep breath together. And release. And then our third deep breath together. And release. And as you feel yourself supported in the chair, and as you know that you're in the safety and the security of this building, allow those things that may have been following you today, following you this week, maybe it's just something that's been lingering for months. Just take a pause, set it down, cast it aside. Whatever it may be. Allow that to sit on the side and allow yourself to be in the presence and the being of everyone here, of the one another. This community that we call Unity Center of North Spokane. This place. Just allow things to settle. And as that happens, feel the presence of those around you. Maybe it's your loved one. Maybe it's somebody you met for the first time. Maybe it's a friend you haven't seen in a long time. Each of us is that one presence and one power. That energy is connecting each one of us to one another. Just allow things to fall. Allow dust to settle. Take this time and this opportunity to connect with Source. We call it God. Others call it the universe. Some call it the Great Spirit. Some call it Allah. Some may not even know a name, but they know a connection. Just don't feel a connection, but we know we are connected. We know that there's a purpose in one and another. Great Spirit, thank you for this opportunity that we have to gather in this place. Thank you for the resources that give us ability to be under a roof with air conditioning. To gather together without distraction. And to see and experience one another. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. And so it is. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning to those of you online. I know I don't recognize you, whichever camera's on me, very often, but thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Clicking in, even if it's, some may watch this in an hour, or some may watch it a couple of days later. There once was a man who lived on a quiet farm, surrounded by acres of fields, trees, and not much else. He had everything he needed except company. After months of isolation, he decided to get a rooster for companionship. He named the rooster Carl and talked to him every day. How's the sunrise, Carl? Did you hear the owl last night? You're my best friend, Carl. You know that? Carl was a really good listener. But one day, the man came outside and found Carl pacing anxiously, clucking up a storm, looking generally distressed, concerned, and he asked, "What's wrong, buddy?" And Carl replied in perfect English, "You need to get out more." The greatest pandemic, and a pandemic is there's epidemic and there's pandemic, and pandemic is one that's worldwide. And the greatest pandemic that we have that's growing every day is loneliness. Pandemic has a global reach. Loneliness is affecting people in many countries across all age groups, especially since COVID-19 and that pandemic. It's widespread enough to meet the global scope and the characteristics of a pandemic. Part of the rapid increase, and studies show that the rates of loneliness have surged in recent decades, especially among young adults, older adults, and men. The severe health impact has demonstrated chronic loneliness has been depression and anxiety, heart disease and stroke, dementia, premature death. Did you know, this will shock you, in the research that I did you know that chronic loneliness can be compared to someone smoking 15 cigarettes a day, the impact that it has on your health? The United States Surgeon General declared an epidemic of loneliness and isolation in 2023. The UK appointed a minister for loneliness in 2018, and the World Health Organization has recognized social isolation as a serious health effect. The bottom line is loneliness is not a pandemic in the biomedical sense, but it functions like one in its global scope, rapid growth, and deep health consequences, making it a public health crisis worthy of urgent attention. Loneliness is more likely among the following groups of people: those that live alone, those that are single, divorced, and widowed, those that have low income or financial stress, lack of meaningful work or purpose, those that use social media heavily without in-person interaction, and those that are caregivers, new mothers, and elderly. Do you think I left anybody out? Yeah. Pretty much covers it, doesn't it? The research shows that loneliness is a widespread issue affecting all age groups, but especially men, young adults, and the elderly, with as I said, the serious health consequences. Some statistics for you. I don't know why I'm tongue-tied this morning. The overall prevalence is approximately 30 to 33% of U.S. adults experience loneliness at least weekly, with some 10% saying they feel it every day. Around 20% of U.S. adults say they experience loneliness on a daily basis. Young adults, those at 18 to 24, 30% report feeling lonely several times a day or a week. 57% of Gen Z report loneliness which is a marked increase over recent years. Single adults report weekly loneliness at 39%, which is nearly double that of married couples. There's a friendship recession. The share of people reporting 10 plus close non-family friends in the U.S. fell from 33% in 1990 to 13% in 2021. Now, loneliness is different than being alone. Loneliness is a feeling. Aloneness is a state. Loneliness is painful, whereas aloneness can be peaceful. Lonely is about unmet needs and a lack of connection, and aloneness is a choice. Of course, we know that the Gospels record numerous instances where Jesus intentionally sought solitude. Those moments were often for prayer, reflection, grief, or preparation for significant events. While not every instant may be documented, at least 9 clear occasions are mentioned in Scripture where Jesus withdrew to be alone and to be with God. Loneliness is not hopelessness. Loneliness can occur even when you're surrounded by people. It involves a longing for closeness, intimacy, and understanding. Often loneliness is tied to relationships, community, and belonging. Hopelessness is a lack of belief in divine order. It involves despair, helplessness, and a loss of purpose. It's often associated with depression, trauma, and chronic stress. Someone can feel stuck, powerless, or like giving up. Metaphysically, loneliness reflects a forgetting of our inherent oneness with all of life and with spirit. Hopelessness reflects a disconnection from the divine potential within us. And I'll talk about that at another time. We'll get deeper into what hopelessness is. But the healing begins when we remember our unity with Source, that we reconnect with our inner light. We sang that song, This Little Light of Mine, this holy light of mine, right? We all believe that inside of us is a light that shines. And it's the things that get in the way that dim our light or cause our light to not glow. And those are our opportunities to move past that. Then you look at social media. We live in a time when there's social media. I don't have this on the slide. It's something I added here. But you would think that with all the social media that we would have connection and that we would have friendships and that sort of thing. But social media is more about quantity of connections, not quality. Social media is a substitution for in-person interactions. It's an illusion of belonging. It's a fear of vulnerability. Our culture emphasizes on individualism and separation, but it doesn't emphasize connection. Social media can be overstimulating and distracting. And I would challenge you and ask you at those times when you grab onto your phone and you're flipping through, what is your reason you're doing it? Just ask yourself, is it boredom? It's usually mine. I'm waiting in line and I just want to distract myself from standing in line. So if I don't have a conversation with a stranger, I pull up my phone and I just start scrolling. But is it coming out of boredom? Is it coming out of loneliness where you feel like you need to connect with somebody? Is it coming because you're wanting to simulate yourself with all the little TikTok videos and things like that? What is the source of that? And when you know what the source is, then press into that and to understand, why am I feeling that way? Another reason social media has become popular, believe it or not, is the decline of communal spaces. Churches, community centers, and other areas where people can get together and actually have community and connection. That's why I believe that our center here, the Unity Movement, and our center is so important. It's important in, not just that we have a place, but what we do with that space. The other part of this is, still not, okay. Then the other issue that was surprising is male loneliness. So in a documentary that Dana told me about, there was a quote in that from a gentleman, I guess I didn't, there it is, okay. By Simon Sinek, who said, "We're seeing a rise of loneliness and isolation. No one kills themselves when they're hungry. We kill ourselves when we're lonely, and that's when we act out." Think about this. In 1960s, there was one school shooting. In the 1980s, there were 27 school shootings. In the 1990s, there were 58 school shootings. And in the past decade, and I don't even know if this is accurate or not, it seems like it's low, but in the past decade, there have been over 120 shootings. In a year? Just said past decade, but yeah. Anyways, the bottom line is that, we focus, and our society focuses, and our culture focuses that it's about the gun, right? But it's always someone behind that, and what is it that's behind it? A person, and I don't want to get into political things here or that sort of thing, but we have to recognize and understand the emotional makeup of the person behind the weapon, right? Or behind the acting out. So the acting out can come in all kinds of different ways. Here's some more statistics on men. 15% of men reported no close friends, which is up from 3% in 1990. 27% of the men say they have 6 or more close friends, compared to 55% in 1990. A few years ago, I made it an intentional decision to have 6 men in my life, 6 close men. And I equated this to having men in my life that were carrying me, were walking beside me in life, and they would be my pallbearers. Okay? Now think about it, that these people were with me during those times in my life that were supporting me, and that I needed those close men around me to support me in my life. So I needed at least 6. And so at any given time, I had 6 men that I could tell you who were my 6. At least 6. Mental health consequences. Now I'm going to go back here just a second, because this is very important when we're talking about loneliness. Mental health consequences of loneliness is depression and anxiety, cognitive decline and dementia, suicidal thoughts and behaviors, addictions and substance use, and sleep disturbances. On the physical side of things, it can contribute to cardiovascular disease, weakened immune systems, increased inflammation, metabolic disorders, and a shortened lifespan. Now, I'm sorry if I'm painting a very dreary picture here, but one of the things that I want to make sure that we understand is what is our role? What can we do about this? Because the ability to help overcome this resides in each one of us. Every one of us has an opportunity to prevent loneliness. So let's look at some of those things that we can do. First of all, it all begins with an inner connection. And the idea is you can't give what you don't have. So if you don't have an interconnection with Source, it's hard for you to be able to give that to somebody else. So it has to begin with you. The second thing is practicing a presence. The greatest gift you can give someone is your full attention. I struggle with that. Struggle. If someone is just going on and on and on and talking, I check out. My brain goes popcorn and goes into other things. So there are times I have to physically, mentally check in and be very intentional as staying present in a particular situation or with a particular person. The other thing is being vulnerable and authentic. For a lot of us, being vulnerable is very easy. One of the things that I've learned as this homecoming book that we're doing, the homecoming study, is that when I was a child, and this just came, Chris said something the other day in the group that brought an awareness to me. And it was like when you get to a certain age and you get out with other boys, you know, you get either your dad pulls you aside and tells you how you need to kind of man up and protect yourself and that sort of thing. I didn't have that. So I turned inward and I wouldn't say I was a mama's boy, but I had more communication with my mom than I did with men. And so consequently, you either grow up with this fighting thing or you grow up with the more internal, vulnerable side of you that gets connected with your feelings and being able to share what was going on. So I remember intently one time when the neighborhood boys were egging me and this other boy to fight. And we wrestled and we did our thing, right, as little boys do. And I remember feeling so uncomfortable with it. Like it was just completely out of character for who I was to be able to sit there and to hit another person, right? And it really bothered me. It bothered me to the extent that I still remember that situation. Remember that little boy, Blake Youngblood was his name. And he was half my size. Boy, I felt like I was a big guy being able to hold my own with him, but it wasn't like it didn't do anything. I didn't have the connection. So consequently, I believe that my ability, like not being able to be, and I've never been real comfortable in large men groups, especially in situations where guys are getting together and they're watching fights or a football game. I mean, I'll go to a Super Bowl party. But a few years ago, a friend of mine invited me over for an MMA fight. And so he had some guys over, and I sat there and I had to leave. The brutality of it hurt my soul so much to watch. It was barbaric. I don't know how else to describe it. To me, it was barbaric. Now, some people don't have a problem with it. You know, I make no judgments on you. But for me, it was pure barbaric to see, like, I won't even describe what you see, but just to watch that, it just seemed like, why are we promoting that and making this something to watch on TV? The other thing that we can do is create or join intentional spaces. This can be an intentional space, right? A book club can be an intentional space. A men's group, there's all kinds of things out there that you can create intentional spaces. The other thing is reaching out and in those awkward opportunities. It's not uncommon for me when I'm sitting in line and think of somebody and send out a text message. Hey, man, how you doing? Hey, what's going on? And it's just my way of connecting with people. And I I get these prompts or these hits like, hey, reach out to so-and-so, and so many times I've ignored them and then come to find out that that person was struggling at that time. So I've become more obedient to those opportunities. When I moved here from California, and I knew I was coming, the months prior to coming, I should say the weeks, because I didn't have a whole lot of time when I made the decision to be here. But the weeks prior to coming, I went on Facebook and I started searching Spokane and looking for people in the Spokane area that I could connect with and say, hey, I'm moving. Can I hang out, or can I get to know you? I'm going to need a tour guide to the city, you know. The first person I connected with is a lady named Maureen, but her name was Mo. That's all I knew about Mo. And she took me around and showed me all the different places. And it's funny because Amy and I were, Amy Felt, who did the sound bath. By the way, we had 11 people yesterday at the sound bath. It was a really good turnout. But I was sharing with Amy. We were sitting there. I go, yeah, there was a lady that I met when I first moved here. I was very intentional. Her name was Mo. And she goes, oh, well, I know Mo. And so it's like, wow, okay, there's a connection. But I realized that I'm such a connection person that I had to be very intentional. Otherwise, if my days were nothing more than working and going to the hospital to spend time with my son, it was going to be difficult for me. So I had to be intentional about that. And then the last thing that we can do is to see the divine in others. And that is to recognize that we all have these needs. We all have a need to connect. And there's a unity affirmation that I wanted to share with you. Oh, well, okay. I'm sorry I'm out of order here. I apologize. I did my slides different because I wasn't going to bore you with all the stuff that I had that I was using for reference, and I put stuff out of order. The other things that we could do as far as creating connection is wellness referrals. This is something that's happening in our medical community today. So though actually a doctor will actually prescribe someone to go to an art class or to go to a social center or get engaged with a puzzle club or a knitting club as part of that person's recovery and dealing with loneliness. Then there's community environmental centers. Bless you. Then there's community environmental centers, right? Places where people are gathering. There's an interpersonal and a relational practices in which how do we communicate? So much of what is going on today in our world is creating separation because people can't communicate. People don't know how to have a conversation without it going into areas that creates that separation. So we have to create opportunities for that communication. And then, of course, we know about the spiritual and the mindful practices that we exercise and that we encourage. And then a belonging and a purpose-oriented type of program, something that gives you meaning. It could be a social group. It could be a political organization. It could be any number of things where you feel contact. And then actually the last thing here that is recommended is utilizing digital tools, but utilizing digital tools in a healthy way. So maybe there's family or friends that you know back east or that are in other parts that you can connect with electronically and have that intentional connection. Or it could be in the wellness community, it could be the use of telehealth services. So what can we do as a unity movement? This is where we come in. This is where the rubber meets the road as to what we can do. And this is, for me, the unity movement is why we are such in a great place to be in terms of offering connection. It begins again with that inner connection, recognizing who we are. We create and encourage connection with other people to reach out to other people. We have to be intentional about seeing one another, to seeing the divine in one another. And so going through those practices, practicing presence in the presence of being vulnerable and authentic. We are learning that in the Homecoming book about how we can be authentic in who we are in that little child that we created. and getting out of all of the other things that we've done, and then creating, getting ourselves into intentional spaces. One of the things stories that came to me when I was preparing the talk was the story of Jesus and the Samaritan woman, the woman at the well, right? So Jesus goes to Jacob's well to draw water, and there's a Samaritan woman there. And in the day, in that custom, Jews didn't speak to women. I should say male Jews did not speak to women. And then if it was a Samaritan woman, you didn't have conversation or connection with them. And if you read the story, and I won't get into the details of it, but initially when Jesus makes contact with her, she's surprised, like, how could you be talking to me? Why are you talking to me? And Jesus is making a connection with her. His connection is that I see you. I know who you are. And in his divinity, he knew of her a little bit about her history. But the bottom line in that connection was he was recognizing her for who she was in that space and being very intentional in doing that. And when you do that, you create that sense of connection and community. So I want to reemphasize some things that we're doing here. So today, from 1 to 3, we will meet here. We'll have break bread, and we'll have our sacred support circle. And that's an opportunity for us to get and share and talk about things that are going on. We have no agenda. The only requirement is that we recognize that this is a safe place, and we make hard agreements that go with that. But it's an opportunity for us to have interconnection and that sort of thing. And then on the second, on the second and fourth is support. On the first and third, we're going to do sacred play. And so same thing, right after service, we'll have lunch, and then we'll get together and play games. Maybe someone's got a new game that they've learned or want to teach. John is a master of games, so is Julie at games. And so they will teach, and we'll have opportunities to just have fun together and just interact. Another thing that's going to be happening is the Unity Drum Circle that we'll be doing on the 29th, starting the 29th of August. And we're going to get together and have a drum circle here. How many people have done drum circles? Yeah. So it's really cool. The first time I did it, I poo-pooed it the first time I ever saw it anywhere. And then when I sat in one at a men's retreat and everybody was doing it, it was kind of like, okay, well, this is fun. Because I always wanted to be a drummer, to sit and beat in the drum, but then there came this crescendo in this moment, and Paul knows what I'm talking about. There comes this moment, and I would call it almost a sacred connection, where you feel the energy, where everybody's on the exact same page, not in the beating, but in the connection with one another. It gives me goosebumps. It was an amazing opportunity, and who knew that just beating a drum, would create that kind of connection, but it was amazing. We are planning something more than that, and that is that we are going to have a workshop on creating a frame drum. This is a Native American frame drum. So right now I have dates tentatively set, but it'll be like a Wednesday and a Saturday morning workshop where we'll actually create our own frame drum. So everybody will go through the practice. I have a friend that's a Native American who's actually going to teach us not just the art of it, but the spirit and the intentionality of the frame drum. Another thing that we're going to do, and this came up as a result of my men's gathering, is we're going to have a men on pause. And we are going to gather once a month here, and we'll gather for pizza and drink, and we'll watch a movie, and we'll have a topical discussion. I think the first movie that we're going to watch is going to be this documentary that Dana referred me to, which has to do with men and loneliness. There'll be more details on this coming, but just know that is coming. It's open to anybody that wants to come. I think there'll be some great topics there as it relates or some great discussion as it relates to the topic of male loneliness and that sort of thing. It's staggering to me as I was doing the reading. research on this, of all the things that keeps men from connecting. The hiding behind the sports, talking statistics and all that sort of thing. All things that I never really got into. I've had friends that you could ask them, like guys that are like diehard Giants fan or Dodger fans, and you can ask them who was the starting pitcher at the 1968 World Series, and they'll tell you who it was. I don't have that kind of brain, but they do. But anyways, that's one of the ways that it's great to talk about statistics, but not so much about our feelings. And then the other thing that we have an opportunity to do as a community, and I really want to urge all of us to be a part of this Hot August Nights on the 22nd of August. It's a Friday night. We're going to be at the Unity Church on South Hill, and the other church in Coeur d'Alene is also invited. So it's going to be a tri-unity event. But this is an opportunity for us to all come together and also interact with folks from the other Unity location. And it's fun. You know, honestly, that's how I met Wendy and actually ended up coming here, was because of that interaction. So, what can I say? The Divas got started at
And I connected, and I was telling her my ideas, and then we got together a few months later.
And so it is. So a lot of things like that can come out of that connection, right? So this is the affirmation that I want us all to say together, and I'll say it, and you follow along, okay? Together, I am connected to all of life. I open my heart to give and to receive love. I see the divine presence in myself and others, and I know I am never alone. The thing that is, I might have shared some time ago my views, personal views, and about what is going on socially. At one point, I kind of have had developed my own view of what capitalism should look like. It's far from being socialist. But one of the things that I think is happening right now, as hard as it is to recognize, is that as certain programs are disappearing and are moving away, the need for those programs is being heightened and more recognized than ever. And so to me, what it begs for is, if you really care about that, rather than a government or public money, how about you put your own money? So this week, or last week I should say, I subscribed and I'm giving locally to the local NPR and the nationwide NPR, because I value NPR. I value the programming. I value the views. So, in my opinion, I don't want government money there. I will support it because it's important to me. And there are other things that are happening with that, other opportunities for us to support. So just because DEI goes away as something that's being supported by the government, it doesn't change the need that I feel in my heart to support it. So that's my opportunity to engage. Understand this, that when we do that, there's an emotional exchange and a relationship created. There's no relationship created when your money is taken, given away or whatever, and then that money is distributed without that personal interaction. But when people see Jeff Tawney, Nikki, they see all these personal people that are contributing to it and getting involved, that has a much greater impact in those situations. And so I encourage you that when you see or when you hear about certain things going away, ask yourself, is this important enough for me to be a part of or to engage in or support? And if it is, then be the change. If it is, then maybe it's not a matter of money. Maybe it's a matter of spending time or having dialogue with people. There are a lot of ways in which we connect. We just have to get ourselves out of our little box and get ourselves into a place that we can Stay curious and be the blessing. Thanks, everyone.
You're only lonely. You're only lonely. You're only lonely. You're never alone.
Is it on back there? Thank you. I love that. Kind of like a blast from the past, huh? Beautiful music. All right, so I appreciate that. So the answer is, for those of you who have been sitting on pins and needles, the answer is 330 school shootings last year. 330, I think that's just the United States. I was looking to see if that was worldwide or just the United States, and now, of course, they're not all shootings anymore. There was one that was a stabbing incident yesterday in Michigan, multiple people stabbed. So it is a mental health epidemic is what it is. It's not really about guns. It's, they'll choose a different weapon if people are so desperate. And it is really something that we need to lean into. We need to lean into how can we contribute to that connection. I'm a connector too, like you. People pop in my mind and I send them a text or something. And when I got out of high school, I really missed my friends. We all scattered. We went around to colleges, or into the workforce, whatever. And about 2 years after high school, I was really feeling lonely for certain individuals that maybe hadn't even been my best friends in high school, but for some reason I just missed them. They were important in my life, and so I made a practice I called their parents, I got their address, because it was snail mail at that time. I sent them each a letter. And then about a year after that, I'm thinking, well, how come they haven't reached back to me? How come they haven't called and said they want to get together or whatever? And then, it occurred to me, it's like, this is for me. I do this because it really helps my own self-worth. It helps my heart. It helps my own well-being. And so I just intentionally do. I'm probably kind of a pest. So in fact, I got one back today from a person I haven't seen for a few years. And I've been thinking for a few days, why did she not text me back? I found out I had her husband's phone in my phone. So I did get a text back from him, and I was a little surprised. But anyway, it's all good. Reaching in. So someone reminded me of that John Prine song that's Hello Again. Do you guys remember that song? It's really about that. Figuring out those people who are lonely and just need someone to say hello, someone to say, I love your smile, someone to say, I'm happy to meet you, or, whatever. Just take that moment, and it's for you and for them. So I'll get off my soapbox now. All right, this is where we're going to collect our gifts that we want to share with this ministry. And abundance is a sacred bond with God. So just see yourself just being grateful for all that you have. And thank you for your gifts. right, I invite you to bless these gifts together. Divine love in, through, and as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you. Okay, some announcements. Oh, unity, peace. Peace. Okay, let us read this together. Unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, for we know there is only one power, one presence, and one life. Okay, so show of hands, how many missed the whole peace statement? Does anybody miss the big long one? Okay, so I'm going to invite you just to close the peace statement with these words, and I will say them first, and you can repeat after me. For this is what honors the God of all our faith traditions. Together, for this is what honors the God of all our faith traditions. That's the part I miss. All right, so I don't know how many of you, I hope you all know how to use a QR code. So if you're getting our newsletter, there's QR codes in there where you can sign up for things and such as that. You can sign up to get the newsletter, things like that. If anybody doesn't know how to use a QR code, I would happily show you later. Okay, so first announcement. This is today. This will be from 12:30 to 1. So you would have a chance to get a little refreshment, and then you can meet me in the library, which is right behind that wall right there. It will take about a half an hour, so if you want to stay for the community time, you will not miss that. But I'm just going to be offering kind of an overview of Unity, what the teachings are, so a little bit of the history, and it takes about a half an hour. So anybody that wants to join me there can join me there at about 12:30 today. No pressure, it's just about for information. Okay, Sandra.
Hey, we have 2 more shows coming up of our popular, well, not award-winning exactly, but not yet, of What She Wants, which is the latest diva show. We had a couple of wonderful nights over at the Jacqueline Arts and Cultural Center. Good houses, and Chris was handing our sound, and we all did well. A mix of music, country, blues, Broadway, kind of an eclectic group. And so I invite you to come see me if you would like tickets. I do have hard copy tickets. And thank you to all those who did come. And I actually know a few people are coming again from this very center. So that's a high compliment, high praise. Yay.
Yay. Yeah, tickets are $35 or $50 if you want like a glass of wine and some merchandise, and you want to have priority seating. So
Yeah,
that's a
and
pretty
we give you
good.
some little diva
That's a pretty good
swag
deal, a little
stuff.
$15 extra. All right, so Jeff already talked to this. We are adding the sacred playtime on the first and third Sundays, and the times are changed for those. They're all going to be 1 to 3. So pretty much every Sunday now we can plan on just sticking around. All right. Oh, and I also this is my own personal announcement. We are going to be doing my Alternatives to Violence group is going to be hosting a little introduction to Alternatives to Violence project on the 5th Sundays. So that will also be at 1 o'clock. And that is really for anybody that wants to learn more about that program. And it is about programs. So we go into prisons, we do youth programs, we do community reentry. A lot of different venues are using that. It's really about restorative circle is what it is. So, all right. So we are going to say the youth blessing. Yes. Wow, partay at Donnie's house. We are so thrilled that you have your own place, and it is our honor and pleasure to give to you things. And just seeing you in your own space and everything is just a joy to my heart. So I'm so glad you mentioned that. Thank you, Donnie. Yeah, happy for you. All right, we are saying this to the youth in our lives as well as the youth inside of each one of us together. Be the love you are, sing the song you hear, share your joy of life with people far and near. And for ourselves, be the love I am, sing the song I hear, share my joy of life with people far and near. All right, we will stand and sing the peace song.
All right. And our prayer protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The presence of God watches us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and that's the truth.
Throw a little love around. Watch what happens wherever you go. Throw a little love around. You'll see changes fast and slow. Throw a little love around. Happiness will follow you. You'll see happy folks set free. Love will grow in you and me. Joy, fun, and peace abound. Just throw a little love around. Hey there, you. I'm talking to you. Where do you think you're going? Why, it's love I'm speaking of, and yes, it should be flowing. We've got time to share this rhyme. Start your singing now. You don't know how should this go. Let me show you how. Yeah, so throw a little love around. Watch what happens wherever you go. Throw a little love around. You'll see changes fast and slow. Throw a little love around. Happiness will follow you. You'll see happy folks set free. Love will grow in you and me. Joy, fun, and peace abound. Just throw a little love around.
It's up to you, it's up to me to set this love and spirit free. Let's take this opportunity to give it all away. Well, the more you give, the more you got. We'll give this loving thing a shot. You won't run out, I kid you not. I swear by what I say.
Throw a little love around. Watch what happens wherever you go, throw a little love around. You'll see changes fast and slow. Throw a little love around. Happiness will follow you. You'll see happy folks set free. Love will grow in you and me. Joy, fun, and peace abound.